Hello everyone and welcome to another Sims build. This one is a little bit different. I'm working on a 4-story house that I found on Pinterest, I think, and it was just kind of a sort of a row house, I guess. I've modified it a little bit, and I know that the insides are not to scale with what they had. I've had some issues with the stairs. Trying to keep it as close to the original blueprint as I possibly can, but yeah, it's been a challenge. So what I'm doing in this video is I'm just doing the basement area, which is the teenage girl's bedroom, the garage, a bathroom with a closet for her, and the idea behind it was she's a bookworm and she's very girly, and it just gives her her own little quiet, out-of-the-way place. The house is going to have, on the second floor, it has the kitchen, living room, dining area. Third floor is the master suite, so the parents' room with like a small office. And the top floor is going to have a little bit of a recreational area, and her brother is going to have a bedroom up there. So yeah. It took me a while to decide what colors I really wanted in there. Once I had the bed in, I knew more of where I wanted to go with the colors in the room. And I decided when I was trying to put a bed in that I just wanted to go all CC, or as much as I can, or as much as I wanted anyway. So that's more or less what you're going to see. A lot of this stuff isn't going to be game related or game included. And I really like this little bed. You have the frame, and then you have the little mattress and blankets to go on top. I thought it was kind of a cute, they have like the potted plants and cactuses and foxes and stuff. So I've not used this one yet for a build. So once I put it in there, I was like, oh, I really like it. And I love these paintings. I would love to have those paintings in my actual house. I love anything with the watercolor print, or where they would take the crayons and melt them and it would create that melty look. I mean, if they're melted, what else are they going to look like? But anyway. So I'm using a lot. That's all CC so far, except for the shelves. I wanted it to be a little cluttered, a little earthy. Again, she's going to be a reader. She also has, what would you call her? I mean, she's kind of a hipster, a little bit. She's going to have the record player in her room. She likes the old vinyl. Of course, it's not really hipster. I love old vinyl records myself. I find as I get older, I have more of an appreciation for them. I miss that kind of raw sound that they had. And that's on my wish list for my Christmas gift also, which, you know how that goes. When you're a parent, you don't really get them, you give them. So we'll see if it happens, but that's been on my wish list now for a couple of years. Just one of those that you can buy, like we have them here at Books A Million. I can't remember the name of the brand right now, but they're colored, and it's just kind of a really nice case with the record player inside it, and they sell records and stuff too. And so I'm really wanting to get one of those. I really want to hear the 21 Pilots albums on record. I think it would sound really cool. And there's quite a few others. I remember when I was a kid, my brother had Pink Floyd, and I remember looking at the album covers. And then we also had E.T. on vinyl record, and that scared me so bad. His face was the center of the record, and so when it was playing on the big console player that we had, it scared me because I could hear his voice through the record player and then see his face spinning on the thing, and I would just scream until they turned it off. And I have no problem with E.T. I've watched it. I was a kid, I think, the last time I watched it, so I'm not even sure if my kids have ever seen it, to be honest, which I'm gonna have to fix that. But yeah, it's been that long since I've seen it, I think. one of the things about CC that I love, getting back to the build, one of the things I love about CC is that it can really give me a freedom to decorate how I want, and things stop feeling stale. They stop feeling like I'm doing the same room every time. And if I want to go all girly and I want things to maybe match a little bit better, then I'll do something like this. And CC, I know I've mentioned it before, but doing a CC build means that if I want to upload it to Gallery, because I want it accessible, easily accessible to anyone that might want it, I will do 2 builds. I will do one with CC and one without. The one with is usually the one that I'll take pictures of for my blog, but the one without is the one that I'll upload to the gallery. I wish there was a way to easily include the links or the names to the content that you're using, or designate the pieces that are CC. I mean, I know that's a lot they would never do that for the website, for the gallery, but I think that would be a really nice feature to say, yeah, all these people are included, because I would love to give people the credit, but I mean, honestly, when I go on a CC shopping, usually on the Sims resource, I don't remember 99% of the time where I got it from, and I tried recently to go search for it so I could try to categorize stuff and maybe get the rest of sets, and it was a nightmare to find everything. So finding out what I wanted to put on this dresser was a pain. You see me struggling a little bit with wanting it to be girly, but yet, I don't know, just I didn't want to overdo it with just a bunch of junk. So this is where I end up putting the record player, I think, in just a moment. I'm sorry if I sound a little out of it. I am pretty tired. It's like 2 a.m. and I haven't been feeling well the last couple of days. Was a bit of a rough week, and this is kind of my way to let that stuff go, you know, and I wanted to get some of my creativity going, and I did. I created this a couple of days ago, but I've been working on the kitchen, dining room, living room today, and I recorded that today. So I just want to take a minute that if you have watched more than one of my videos, or if this is the first one, I really appreciate that you're here. This is completely new for me, as you can see from my channel. I don't have a lot there. And if you're watching, I appreciate you. If you've got any ideas for me for something that I could build on the channel, or something that you'd like to see, please tell me. I'm open for different options. That has got to be one of my favorite chairs. When I was a kid, I wanted one of those kind of swinging chairs in my room, or the hanging ones that, God, I can't even think. I know that the 60s and 70s, they had kind of a hanging chair that I loved. But yeah, I always thought that'd be really cool. And the hanging beds, oh, I love those things. Of course, I'm a little heavy, so I would probably break it really easily. I think my daughter would love stuff like that, though. Dead air, sorry. So yeah. Oh, I am exhausted. So I probably shouldn't have recorded being this tired. But I really wanted to. I have been trying to get this done for a couple of weeks now, just trying to find the time. And I live in an apartment, and there are 5 of us living here, and my mother, who is disabled, my husband and I, and then my 2 kids. So it's a little crazy. We're all trying to find our places to play our games and do our things, and my son, everybody in the house except for my mother is a gamer. Well, I guess my mom kind of is. She likes to play Scrabble on Facebook. So, yeah, I guess I'll give her that. I think when the first Nintendo came out, she was more addicted to the Nintendo than I was. She loved Tetris and Dr. Mario. Oh my lord, you couldn't get her away from Dr. Mario. And Q*bert. So that was where a lot of my childhood was spent, watching her play that. Or sewing. My mother was a seamstress. So I remember that we had, we lived in Alabama and she worked for a company that made costumes. So not the kind that you'd buy at Walmart necessarily, but they were like theatrical kid productions. So they were usually like giant apples or pumpkins and like 10 of them or 20 of them at a time. And so we would just have like big rolls of batting and cloth and just like crazy stuff all over the den that we had, and that would be just consuming us for a couple of weeks, and then she'd start the next project. But it was always really interesting to see. And my parents also did craft festivals or craft fairs, so my mom would make door stoppers that look like carousel horses, or these giant stuffed frogs that were as tall as a child for kids, and then my dad would make shelves and stuff. So a lot of that different kinds of creative stuff has always been a part of my life, and that was in kind of the tourist industry too, the same town, and same kind of mentality behind it. So so this little pillow that I just put in that chair with the little rabbit on it, I put that in every CC build that I do because I love it. I do have a rabbit, and I think that they are just the sweetest little things. Their own personalities are just like cats to me. We have, maybe it's just because he's so big. Maybe he's like a cat because he is a Flemish giant, and he's over 14 pounds. And we have a dog. She's a Dorky Shih Tzu, so she's Dachshund, Yorkie, and Shih Tzu. And he's bigger than her. So, yeah. He's really a character, though. Like, when he wants to be pet, he wants to be pet, and when he doesn't, he doesn't. He's very demanding. He likes to get into stuff. I've gone through 3 headsets because of him. He likes to chew the cables apart. And 2 mice, I think, I've gone through. Yeah. So he doesn't really chew his daddy's cables, but he chews mine. And then my dog, she's good. She's just kind of a mama's girl, kind of lazy most of the time. But she's a sweetie. Speaking of, I cannot wait until we get cats and dogs in November. I'm excited about having another element to the game, but I can't say that I'm overly excited about the pets aspect, because I know that in Sims 3 they kind of annoyed me. They were just a lot of work, and I know that they've said it's going to be different than that. It's more like the earlier versions, so I'm excited to see what they do with it. The more exciting part for me is the build buy mode. The octagonal roofs has always been something that I've really wanted, so I'm excited that that's coming around. And I know that every time they have a stuff pack or a game pack come out, people are talking about how much they want L-shaped stairs or spiral stairs, and they keep saying, well, that's more of a expansion pack kind of thing. Well, now here we have an expansion pack coming out, and I would really, 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 really hope that they include that. I think if they're giving us octagonal roofs, it's already a huge thing. And I know the undertaking of putting pets in the game is major, especially since all the specs are going to change. I'm still hoping that I'm able to play it on my laptop, actually. But I really hope that they're hearing. I know they've heard about the spiral stairs and the L-shaped stairs. I hope that it's something that they were able to actually put in this expansion pack, because then having to wait for another one before they implement something like that will just, it'll make me really, really sad. We've already waited so long. I think that's one element for me that's so frustrating, or the fact that we can't put stairs on a diagonal. It's like, it's so frustrating. I've seen so many builds that I would love to try a Sims 4 version to do, or a Sims 4 version of building it, and can't, because that element of it needs to be diagonal, and if you change it, it kind of throws off the whole build for me. It doesn't really give it the same impact. I actually saw one earlier tonight like that, and I thought, oh, if they would just let us put it like that. The only other thing that I really would like to have in build by mode would be half walls, not the height, because I know we have multiple height walls, but being able to put them on a half grid. So for stuff like a separator in the kitchen between, like where the kitchen ends and the living room starts, or between the, like around the stove or something, just to kind of give it a little alcove. I would love to have just a little half wall, not a full wall, just a little one. There are times that I use the columns, but the columns that we have are just really chunky. They're really square, really chunky, and there's one that I typically use a lot because it's more of a low profile once you actually put it against the wall. But I don't know, it's still not quite what I'm looking for. So I'd like to have more of a divider issue. And then having an open shower. Like this one is squared off. I would like to have it just glass. And since I'm using CC, I actually have a glass shower for CC. I might use in the parents' bathroom. So if I can remember, I'll reference it and show you when I get there. But something a little more modern and sleek, I guess, just the glass. So I don't know. I always feel like these bathrooms should have like a little seat in them, but I can't say that I would use it because it would probably get covered in moisture, and it's kind of like sitting on the toilet when you get out of the shower and you're wet and you just like think you're gonna slide right off. The seat would probably be the same way. Maybe not, I don't know. I guess it depends on what the seat's made of, but that's so random. I'm sorry. It's like 2:30 in the morning. There's really not gonna be, I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth. I'm gonna apologize. Maybe I should put a disclaimer on the video. None of this might, make sense. Just be aware. Or it might go TMI, who knows. Oh my goodness. I love anything with arrows, so I've got my little chevrons in there. I know arrows and chevrons are not the same thing, but to me, they have the same element. So I've included them. I'm going through my artwork trying to find, I don't really like all blank walls, even though most of them in my house are. So it's just trying to find something that's like cohesive. So cute little antlered thing. So her bathroom is girly without being too girly. I still have some of the brick wall because the basement part, even though it's above ground, I don't know, it had, in the picture I saw on Pinterest, it had a different texture for the part where the garage was. So the part that you enter the house on was more of like a block, cinder blocks or concrete or something. And so I used brick for part of it, and then I used some siding, because once I did it all on the bottom with the blocks or brick look to it, it just looked very disjointed between the siding that I was using and the bottom. And I guess now that I think about it, I could have put one of those edges, I guess. I can't think of what it's called. Along like a foundation, but I didn't do that, so oh well, maybe next time. So that's the room when it's final, and I'm just trying to figure out what kind of lighting I want to add in. It's a little bit too dark. But yeah, that is the bedroom done, bathroom done. I love that desk. Someday when I have my studio and I can buy whatever desk I pick out, that desk is going to be the one that I get. They actually have one at IKEA that look kind of like that I love so much. Taking screenshots. And I normally don't take screenshots in build mode. I usually do that in live mode. So debate in the comments down below, is it live mode or live mode? Dr. Gluon on Twitch is actually doing a poll on that right now. I think, as I said just a minute ago, it's live mode, because now they're living and then they were paused. Or you're building, or it's the living, whatever. But I hear a lot of people say live mode, so. I thought about putting the parenthood thing down here, but I think it's just too away from everything. So I'm gonna put that upstairs. Which reminds me that I didn't put that upstairs when I finished the upstairs just a little bit ago. So I'm gonna have to go in and figure out where I'm gonna put that. Pardon me, I yawned. The stairs you're gonna see are kind of like one on top of the other, and I wasn't even aware that we could get that to function the way we do, or that it would work. Like, I know you can put it there, but I wasn't sure they'd still be able to go up and down the stairs. But I saw a build that Holly BB did on Twitch recently, and she was able to do that, and it functioned fine. So that was what I was doing with the stairs in this build, and it took me, like, I had it figured out when I was doing this, and then when I was working on the second floor, I realized the second and third floor weren't connected, so even though there were stairs on both floors, they weren't actually, like, you couldn't get to the third floor at all. So I spent some time earlier fixing that, which meant that I had to widen, I had to bring the front of the house forward, and I think I did it by like two blocks, 2 grid spots, whatever, 2 tiles. So I did stretch everything a little bit from what you're seeing in this video. Once it's done and you can see the car in the garage, there's a little bit more space now than what, yeah. So I always put, in the garage, I always put like a woodworking station, because my dad was a woodworker, and my grandfather was, and my husband is interested in it too, so I always feel like that has to be in the garages that I build. And the old cabinets, my dad had some of those. Oh, I'm so sorry I'm yawning again. It's so rude. And I wanted it to be kind of messy, but not, I mean, not too messy, because they still function in their garage, and there's also going to be a workout bench and like the paint cans and stuff like that. So this house overall, I'm not entirely sure about it, to be honest. I really love the way this basement area turned out. I really love the way the second floor has turned out, but I don't know about the rest, to be honest. The third floor being the parents' bedroom and suite, the ensuite. And it's got, in the original house plans, was like these massive walk-in closets. I mean, the third floor is just their space. And I think it's just really excessive. So I'm thinking I might just configure it a little differently from the plans that I found. And I do that sometimes. I see the plans and I think, oh, it's great. And then I go to put it in The Sims, and in Sims World, things don't always work the way you want them to. So I end up changing a good chunk of it, which is good too, because I like the creativity of having to create something from my brain. And there are some builds. There's a build that I did where I just wanted to sit down and do rooms. I didn't want to do a whole house. And I did a kitchen, or not a kitchen, I did a dining room first. And I just kind of like put it on the lot. And then the next thing I built was the kitchen, I think. And I didn't intend for them to go together. I just built them. And so when I got it done, I looked at it and I went, oh, well, those two actually will connect and it'll look kind of cute. So I connected them. And then I just went on and I said, let's build a bathroom now, or an office. And I ended up piecing all of these together, and oh, I'm so sorry. And absolutely falling in love with the build. And it's on the gallery. I'll have to, God, that was a long time ago. I'll have to figure out what that name was, because it was just so cute. It's a nice little like family home. I think there's a teenager room. It's just a single girl in there right now, but she's got the master bedroom with an ensuite, and then it has like a toddler or child's room. And then downstairs it has a really nice office, living room, a big bathroom, the kitchen, and the dining room. So, I mean, you know, a standard house, but it's so cute. So this is the downstairs. It is all complete. Thank you for watching. I know it's kind of an abrupt end. I apologize for that. I was talking and I got carried away. So this is the house, and I think I'm going to show you. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for watching. I really, really, really appreciate you coming by again. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye-bye.